when I had a stranger type, it would be a totally different situation. So I commend you on finding your passion and actually like signing up for it. But I wish we had this sector of the school when I was here. Okay, so fast forward, I was in school and I got my financial aid check, and at the time I had a child, and so her birthday was coming up, and I just had a regular job, and I rented the inflatable tents, like the moonwalks that the kids jump in at the birthday parties. Mm-hmm. So I rented 2 or 3 of these. We set them up at the park, and I had worked all week, and this guy came in, he set up some equipment, and he took half my check. I was like, he was here for 15 minutes, it cost me almost like $450. I was like, I gotta switch up what I'm doing. Also, what I started doing is I started paying attention to, I was like, well, if I get a really good job and I work overtime, my life will be in a better place. But then I just started paying attention to things that I wanted to do besides pay my bills. So when you get a job, when I had a job, what would take place is I would get enough money to pay my car note, I could pay my rent, and maybe I could have some Waffle House. But when I got done doing all that, it was time to go back to work. So I had enough money that would allow me to live as long as I worked. I couldn't take 4 months off. So I was like, after going through that, I was like, well, I gotta get a better job. And I was like, well, I got a better job. And
you're good.
Okay. That allowed me to get a bigger car note and a bigger house. But I still don't have any, I was like, man, I gotta do something. I gotta drop a mixtape or something. It's just horrible. So I was like, well, I got my financial aid check, and I was like, I went and bought 2 moonwalks. So when I bought the 2 moonwalks, I went and bought like an ice cream truck, because I was like, it's summertime. I spend money on, and I didn't have a class to come to where somebody was like, hey, just in case you don't make it to the NBA or the NFL, you a real job for your real situation. So I was like, I kept seeing the ice cream trucks. So I was like, man, maybe I can make money off that. So I bought me an ice cream truck. Mind you, I'm in school, so I was only able to afford like 2 moonwalks. And I didn't have a truck, I had like a Tahoe, so I would have to put them in the back of the Tahoe. And then I would take different pictures of them because it's only 2 of them, so I'm taking different angles. But so with my ice cream truck, I started getting motion, but it was like seasonal. So I'm riding around these apartments, and literally what I would do was, when I seen the school buses like drop the kids off, I would just follow the school buses to the different apartments, and I would catch them like that. And then, but I just learned, like when she was talking about customer service, hey, listen to me, you gotta talk to kids the same way you talk to adults. Right now, I started off with 2 moonwalks. Right now I have like 23 moonwalks. And I've been doing moonwalks for the last 14 to 15 years. At this point, I try not to touch them. I got like other people, like my nephew or whatnot, like doing the moonwalks. But everything that she talked about in reference to business, like with customer service, I treat all of my clients, I handle them with white gloves, because this is how I feed my family. Like if I can give you good service, and you'll tell 10 people, hey, I got good service. That's where most of my clients come from. I do social media. I just ordered 10,000 business cards, but if you do right by people, they'll do right by you. I just sincerely believe that. And if I have a bad situation where, let's say, well, I had a guy who called me and it was raining. I don't deliver in the rain because, first of all, my insurance don't cover your kid getting hurt in the rain. And then it's just not safe. And then I don't want to put my equipment out, I got to clean it. But he was like, let's just say he lived an alternative lifestyle. So he was just like, oh, we're gonna have this party. And I was like, sir, you can have the party, but it won't be with a moon. So after the threats, I still wanted to clean my face card up. Even though he was wrong, I was like, well, you know what? Sunday is a slow day for me. I'm gonna just bring a moonwalk out for you, and I'm not gonna charge you anything. Mind you, this is a piece of plastic. It's vinyl. It doesn't pay for itself if you just sit in the garage. But when I bring this moonwalk out to you and I don't charge you anything, oh, you're gonna tell everybody. You're gonna tell your sister. The kids gonna understand what's going on. I'm gonna be the good guy. So now I went from being the bad guy And it costs me a little gas money to just drop it off, but the clientele that I'm gonna get from just giving you a free moonwalk, you want a cotton candy machine, guess what? It costs me $6.50 to give you $200 worth of fun. So here go your cotton candy, and you're gonna take pictures of it, you're gonna tag me in it. We just did a free promo because you got pissed off with me.
Right.
But it's every situation you can turn into a good situation. I never want to have a bad interaction with anybody. And it carries on. I have kids that I rented to, and I seen a dude in the grocery store the other day. He was like, man, you the moonwalk man. I was like, you a little big to be jumping on. And he was like, no, when I was a kid. He's like, man, let me get your card. So I literally delivered to his children. Entrepreneurship is the key element in all of this. And there's some elements that don't change from if you're selling jet fuel or if you're doing construction. There's some basic elements. So I want more money. I want to be able to do more things. I ain't been to Dubai. I haven't been to Africa. I got a to-do list. Now, I just bought 10 acres of land in Thompson, Georgia. So for me, I want to do something with this land. So the money that I have, it's allocated to certain things. So right now, I'm figuring out another way to make money. I started doing the research on the power lines that they set up. There's a lot of hurricanes taking place. There's a lot of damages going on. It's going to be a demand for people who are skilled and trained and licensed to go up and put a line up. They pay per foot. It's a lot of money. My brother's in Macon. Well, he's my like a play brother, but he just bought 3 bucket trucks. And so I went up there one day. I was like, man, so how much money are you making? He was like, man, listen, they just for this week they just cut me a check for $30,000. I was like, let me see that check. I was like, okay, so now I just started doing the research. I hadn't stopped my moonwalk service. I hadn't stopped what I got going on, and I may never get into it, but I got to be able to wrap my mind around it to see, okay, is it gonna take up all day? Can I do this? Can I buy a truck and put some people on this truck? Entrepreneurship is universal. As long as you understand the concept of supply and demand, you know what people like, you know what they're gonna go for, you make a good name for yourself, and you live off that name, the world will be a better place. Question.
So like my dad, he has a trailer, it's like a food truck, but I was wondering, where did you like how did you like take initiative with like starting your own business?
Hunger and wanting to do more. When I say hunger, it's just like I don't want to work 7 days a week, and then I want to travel. I want to see the world. I want to be able to provide for my children. I want an iPhone. So a lot of times hunger will cause you to do certain things. I don't want to be the person that lives his life and I'm just like, well, I'm only gonna get enough to get by. So I was like, well, sometimes we got the tools, but we don't have the know-how. So what I started doing, I started talking to people who have the know-how. And you'd be surprised about people who just share information with you. People will come to your class and talk to you, or you'd be surprised who you know that knows somebody. So if your dad has a trailer, then what does he want to do with the trailer? Is he selling, what kind of food is he selling?
It's like Middle Eastern food, like
Okay, so now they in Atlanta, there's a list that you can go to where they have like these food trucks, but the food trucks is gathered. Sometimes you just network with other food trucks and they get together. I ride motorcycles, so a lot of times we go and we visit different places. So we'll go to a place in East Atlanta and it's just all food trucks. I got a homeboy who just moved to Florida because him and his wife, they just bought 2 of them. They're making a lot of money. It could be lucrative, and then my whole thing is like, how can I turn one food truck into another food truck? I know you didn't ask all that, but he's got something good. And then what I try to do, I try to think about not how that company can be good for you, but how that company can be good for your children. You know what I mean? That's the kind of intention I want to leave on anybody that I interact with. Because I want to set it up to where this business is so good that my children eat off of it, but then my children's children will benefit off of it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And do you remember when Dayana was here and she spoke of how she has her hair business, but she also has her fitness business? Almost like saying, I'm not putting all of my eggs in one basket. If I do hair, then I also can provide the hair. So I'm a distributor of hair, but I also provide the service. It's like, even when I don't have clientele, then I can still push my hair. It's so many different facets to entrepreneurship. The more you have 100% in two buckets, not 5%, I don't want to do that today, and then tomorrow, oh, well, come. You have to give equal amount of time, energy, and dedication to both things because they're going to be lucrative. I think it's just something that, we always see there's a need someplace. So you go there. Yes, I love doing hair. However, I love teaching. So you gotta find your balance in both of them. Both of them are lucrative. Both of them give a service, but I do both of them passionately.
I wanna double back just to piggyback on what both of you all said. One thing, and again, I always try to get little tidbits from everybody. One thing that I heard from Mr. Butler was that he kept his head and mind open to receive opportunities. So when he went to did the first bubble jump, and he saw this man make this quick $400 for setting up for 15 minutes. If he was just had his blinders on and not necessarily being open to those opportunities, he might not be sitting here right now. But because he was open to the possibilities, here he is now. And also, just like Ms. Butler said, the multiple streams of income is huge. Living in Atlanta, you cannot just have one stream of income. You need as many streams as possible. And during times where passive income, where you sleep and you making money, all that is what they're telling you.
So my family go by this saying, like, women are like waffles and men are like spaghetti.
Okay.
I'm explaining. So women basically focus on like one thing at a time. That's how we say we focus. Women focus on one thing at a time versus men. They're constantly investing into other things. So like that's like the spaghetti. My dad, he has 2 barbershops, but he's always like. He's like, no, that's not his main, that's his main source of income, but he bought 2 French bulldogs, and is breeding them, and he gonna buy a whole bunch of game systems off in eBay and sell them in the barbershop, so is that like what you're saying you do, you got your main source of income, but you do other things to invest in yourself, you use your money to invest in different things?
I think that that's a really good question, and your dad's awesome for having 2 barbershops and it's money in them dogs. I don't like animals.
I was about to say, I'm gonna holler
Like
at
I
you.
don't do dogs. They smell funny to me, but it's a lot of money in those dogs. For real. I think that it's just like the principal said, and let me say that to have a principal to come in and sit in, because the only time I saw my principal was you was in trouble. But nobody never really came in and showed that they really cared about what was going on. So that's dope. But to answer your question without talking your head off, I think that your dad is a hustler, and it's just like, and not to compare him to like P. Diddy or Jay-Z, but Jay-Z raps, and that's something that he does. But I think that there's a certain kind of mindset with looking at a situation and analyzing what's going on. It's like, okay, so in school, okay, I hang out with these people, I stay away from these people, you already making decisions whether you're aware of it or not. So then it's all about where you position yourself. So barbershops allowed him the opportunity to look at the dogs in a different way, where I may see a dog as a liability with something that's gonna eat my shoes up. Your dad saw that and was like, you know what? Okay, so you pay how much for these dogs? And you gotta do this to get them ready, and you gotta do that. Oh, and I got enough money to afford that because this right here is already paid for that. The sky's the limit. You don't have to do one thing. Once you understand entrepreneurship and customer service, he's obviously, cleared that slate. The sky's the limit. My uncle is a certified millionaire, but he only went to like 8th grade in school. Now I'm not saying stop. 8th grade, follow through. You guys are on the right track. But what I'm saying is, once you understand the business of something, then you can't take that knowledge away, and you can't. There's some elements in life that just simply don't change. People want things. People are going to pay for those things, and they're people who provide those things. Very, very simple. So whether it's dog, it's shoes, jet oil, whatever it is, money is money, bro. Money is money. More questions?
What's your social media?
I'll write on the board, but it's a couple of, oh yeah, and the person she was talking about, Diana, that's actually my first child, so she knows.
I had a feeling.
Well, I'll write it on here before we leave, but it's Damon Butler. I got a couple of them, but
Right.
I also believe in, like, so I have a younger daughter. Diana's my 25-year-old, I have an 8-year-old. But, yeah, she dope too. But, okay, so in high school is where I like got my first job. And I was like, well, how do I change the dynamic for my children? First of all, I put the down payment on these 10 acres of land because I was like, it's a sacrifice for me, but my goal is to have them have something to deal with once they get in the realm of understanding real estate and the value of land. So this is the sacrifice I make because I owe it to the people that come after me. Okay, so, but my 8-year-old, I was like, well, how do I change your mindset? So instead of prepping her to work somewhere, I bought her a t-shirt machine. I went to Walmart, the t-shirt machine cost like $300. So I was just like, well, she's learned how to make t-shirts. So when I do like moonwalk, sometimes they'll order shirts. She'll literally do the shirts. And she's making money. She's got her own checking account. She's got her own savings. She got her own credit card. And she likes Starbucks too. But,
And people will buy anything for my child.
for real. Oh, she's also
They could be selling thoughts.
for
I wanna buy
real.
one.
They do. And you know what? Like she just finished her 4th book for like a group of young entrepreneurs. So we sell the book. We sell her lip gloss. Whatever she touched, we sell it. Now we're not getting rich off of it, but the goal is to get her to understand that just the concept of business. If you try something and you flop, at 8 years old, by the time you get 19, 20, that experience, you get those man hours. You see what I'm saying? And then let's say you get something right. It may not click until you're 30 years old, but you already in that, you already have a barber shop, so you learn how to get another barber shop, and you learn how to.
But I'm gonna say this, she is 8, but she understands. I took her to the Dollar General. And I said, okay, Summer, you can get one thing. She was like, Auntie Graham, I have my own money, my own card, my own business. I said, well, should I call your mom or your dad and ask them, can you use your card? Because I don't want them to say, she said, no, I got it. I said, oh, okay. Can you buy me a drink? She does understand the concept of this is my card, this is my money. She said, I sell things. I said, okay. I'm in Dollar General like, what? This girl just told me, no, I don't need your money. Keep your $10, okay?
And I'll say this, one thing, another nugget that I want y'all to grab on to is the fact that Mr. Butler saw past him. He saw past his kids. He's looking towards his kids' with the land. And one thing, and I know it's getting past that, but one thing about land, that's, it's only so much land. So once you own this little piece of dirt, this is your dirt until you decide what to do with it. Land is gonna always be worth something. So for him to have the foresight to be like, you know what, I'm gonna buy 10 acres of land, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but this 10 acres of land belongs to the Butlers. And this is our land, and whatever you wanna do with it, you're gonna have to come through us. That's powerful.
Any more questions? All right.
It's a round question. So, 10 acres, like, how many football stadiums is that? So I can think.
That's a good question. I think it's like, are y'all like to have your phone? Somebody got that?
Yeah, they have.
Cause I tried one day. Okay, so me, my oldest child, and my mom. Yeah, I took mom out there. We was gonna walk it because I was like, it's my land. I'm gonna walk it.
Right.
It's not happening. It's not happening because like my land is like raw land, and it's a creek. It's like I had to bring mama back like real fast. But to answer your question, I want to say it's like 8 or 9 football fields. I could be wrong.
It's what 7?
You say 7. You see that?
7,5 football field. I don't know.
7.
I guess it depends.
So 7.5. Okay, I'll take 7.5.
Okay.
I'll take 7.5.
I'll take a half.
Yeah, the land is dope for me because it gives me something to just like, I'll drive, and it's out, it's in Thompson, Georgia, so it's like 2 hours east. But whenever I just like forget like what I got going on, I just go out there and I just sit. And I don't have nothing, not I just like this my lane. But one day I'm going to build. I'm going to build, but the water tank costs $11,000. I got to figure out something else to still maintain what's going on, but then I have to find another investment because I need the electricity. I got to figure out, and then I'm trying to wake the guy out who bought the lot next to me because if he gets line, then I can feed off his line. So it just, but I'm learning about land, and what I know about land, I'll teach to my daughter. But like I said, it's not even for them; it's for my grandchildren. Any more questions?
All right, thank you.